Welcome to the Safe Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Derek.
Are you going to say the correct episode this time?
Yes.
So, Dominic, you two don't know, but we did an episode last week for next week, and I'm pretty sure Derek said the wrong episode.
I did.
After I sat back there, I'm like, hey, make sure you say this episode. He goes, I got it. It's written down. And then afterwards, I'm like, did you say the right episode? He goes, I don't think so. And I was like, great.
So we have two episodes that are 176, but this is 176. This should be the correct episode. And we have a very special guest today. We have Brandon and Jomel with Birdies in the Outfield, a.k.a. B.i.T.O boys. They create content focused on golf and community, aiming to spread positivity and joy. Fellas, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having us. We're big fans of you guys.
For sure.
And, yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Let's get right into it. On your Instagram, you have it in the profile there that you have 25 plus years of friendship. So let's rewind the clock a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, well, I am Jomel. He's Brandon. We known each other since we were 9 years old. Played on the same travel ball team together. Then became rivals in high school, and then became teammates at SDSU under Tony Gwynn. And from there on, played baseball. He went on to play some pro ball. I went into the coaching side of it, and then one way or another, we became roommates, and then from there, we started doing like a podcast. It used to be the Call the Brothers broadcast, and then he had a couple kids, and it was hard to do a couple things, with kids coming along, and then we were still golfing, and we were like, dude, let's make something out of it, and started creating content on the golf course, and now we're Birdies in the Outfield. So.
Yeah, I love the name too. Where did that name come from? I mean, obviously it's going to be baseball kind of themed, but can you guys kind of tell us a little bit about how the name came about?
Yeah, one of our favorite baseball movies of all time is Angels in the Outfield, and we just flipped it. We're out there trying to get birdies. We also kind of use it as an angel reference with the wings. Doing our best to spread positivity and joy through our content and hopefully in the sport of golf.
So how cool is Tony Gwynn?
It was very cool playing under a Hall of Famer.
Do you know who Tony Gwynn is? Yeah. San Diego Padre legend.
Isn't he the one that was collecting the paycheck for like ever? Isn't that Tony Gwynn?
That's the Mets.
Who's that?
Oh my God.
It's Tony Bonilla.
Oh yeah,
Bobby Bonilla.
Bobby Bonilla.
Tony Gwynn is a legend. Hits king. Well, not the hits king, but like he got up there, was not getting out. Tony Gwynn is like a stud. So he is who Luis Ariz wants to be, but Ariz is ass, and where Gwynn is not ass. So R.I.P. Tony Gwynn, because he's dead.
Yeah, he played for the Padres, which is kind of why you're probably kind of bringing that up, I'd imagine.
Well, he coached at SDSU.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. So it was, cool. I mean, I think there's some wild stats that, when the Braves were really, really good with Glavine,
John Smoltz,
and then
Greg
Maddux. He had like some ungodly amount over 2,000 at bats against them and only struck out like 8 times or something like that.
That's crazy. I remember having a Tom Glavine glove back in the day.
Exactly. You can go down a deep, deep rabbit hole looking at Tony Gwynn stats.
Yeah.
Tony Gwynn.
Shout out Tony Gwynn.
I mean, I'm a big baseball guy. Obviously, I grew up. I think I briefly talked to both of you about it, but I grew up as a catcher. Bowling ball, monster behind the plate. Right. So like I always idolize like catchers. Jomel were obviously in Minnesota, and stuff like that. So the fact that we could talk a little bit about baseball and like not me be the only guy who knows about it is pretty fun for me today.
So we do rapid fire questions, but since we're on the topic, let's just do one right off the bat. Who's your favorite all-time catcher?
Pudge.
Damn, he got me.
Pudge is good.
Pudge Rodriguez? Yeah. I like it.
Pudge is good.
What about Mike Piazza? What are we on? What are we feeling that one? That's a good one, right?
That's a good one.
That's a great
Yachty or Molina? That's better. I'll take Yachty.
I love Yachty. Benji or Yachty?
Benji, yeah, I was gonna say because they're both brothers.
Yachty.
There were three Molinas.
Oh, jeez.
And they all
we'll just wrap them up all in one. Yeah, the Molinas. There we go.
No, because Yachty was dramatically better than all of them. I will say Benji hit for the cycle, though.
Okay. Who's your favorite
catcher?
Yeah.
I grew up a big Mauer guy, but I also grew up a big Yachty guy because I grew up a Cardinals fan as well. Right. So Yachty was like, if you want to talk about offense, Mauer was like the pinnacle of consistent offense. Not like a super slugger, but like would bat 350, which is ridiculous. And then played stellar defense. But if you want to talk about a dude to control the game and dominate his position, it's Yachty. There was, similar to Tony Gwynn, there have been statistics where, teams would have so many stolen bases, and then it would get to the Cardinals, and it would dip down to like 70 because nobody ran on him. Yeah. Nobody wanted to run on Yachty. And you're like, he just saw the game differently. And I'm so excited to watch him manage at the WBC, and then eventually he's going to manage the Cardinals, like without a doubt.
I mean, I'm
going to shit my pants and be super pumped about it, but it's a toss up between those two.
I was going to say Joe for.
I love Mauer though.
I wish we would have won a World Series with Joe, but that doesn't happen in Minnesota.
I wish he didn't have bilateral knee weakness.
So close,
bilateral exactly. Okay, so sorry, we ramble on. It's golf and things, so we're definitely talking sports and all that stuff. So we'll kind of catch you off the beaten path here. But anyway, okay, so the story behind Birdies in the Outfield you kind of mentioned, which is really cool about giving back and inspiring. What inspired you guys to create golf content on social media? Like, and how long have you been doing it?
So today is actually coincidentally our 1 year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Glad I asked that question. Oh, she wants to celebrate too. Okay.
Yeah, all right. We want to be on the Save Par podcast when we
That's right. That's the biggest celebration right there.
There we go.
No, but like Jomel was talking about, we initially started the Brothers broadcast, which was covering sports skits. So we were recording about 3, 4, 5 hours of content and divvying that up for YouTube. And like you talked about, I had my 2 kids, kind of back-to-back Irish twins, 2 under 2. And we had to choose between golfing and continuing the Brothers broadcast. And at that time, I don't think we were really serious in it. So we were like, let's switch over to golf, continue doing golf. And at that time, golf content was semi-big, but nowhere near it is now. And we just started, and luckily we're a year in, and we still feel so blessed and fortunate to be creating content and calling that as our job.
Right.
You both have such a good personality too. So like we've kind of Dom and I have 2 different personalities, but we always get that people like you have different personalities.
Oh, it's such a yin and a yang.
But yeah, you complement each other well, and you guys both have a really good personality. I think that obviously helps.
So
with the content.
I think my favorite part is I think Brand was talking to me about that at dinner. He's like, you 2 are so different. And then I fucking yelled at you across the table and we just waved at each other.
Right. Yeah. And you did.
You're like, what?
I'm like, how do you do it? Yeah.
But going back to that, like the social media content, like you said, there was definitely a space for it, but it wasn't where it's at now. It's crazy right now, which is great. I love it. And I think people can relate a little bit more too. You get people that are, not professional golfer by any means, but creating cool content, but also having fun with it. So I think there's definitely a big space for that. How many rounds? You have 2 kids, so it's probably a little bit tougher. But how many rounds of golf per week do you guys usually play, on average?
Again, coincidentally, yeah, I have 2 kids, but I'm fortunate enough to have a wife who completely backs me. So as of 2 weeks ago, they're both in daycare. Nice. And straight into the question, this week we have 6 rounds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That is legit.
This is us
6 rounds this week?
Yeah. This week.
Yeah.
I have not played since California.
I'm going to say,
oh no.
I'm supposed to be playing tomorrow with some customers, but I haven't even hit 6 rounds for the year yet. Yeah. I mean, we're also limited. We're in Minnesota. You're in a pristine area, so it's a little bit different as far as
I also flew back got fired, and now it's like I have a shitload of time. But like now nobody has time to play with me because like now I'm the unemployed friend, and I'm like I just want to
hear that, man.
Oh, so at the shindig, I knew it was happening.
I think you mentioned
it a little bit.
I've known about this for like.
It's his boss. He actually fired himself. No, I'm just kidding.
Essentially, yeah. Jokes on everybody. I quit. No, so I've known about it for like a month and a half. I actually just applied for a job, so hopefully they like hit me back up and be like, "Hey, we want you to work at Hoka," and I'm like, "I want to work for Hoka." Like, absolutely, putting that into the universe. Hoka, hire me.
Hoka, hire Dom.
Yeah, I've only been talking about them for 8 years.
He knows it. He knows it. It's a perfect fit.
Perfect fit, literally. Love their shoes, but I forgot. Yeah, I haven't played since I washed my clubs, and that was it. Like my clubs are clean because we're playing on Monday. We're doing stuff with the 3M Open again this year, so we're in the media day. But that'll be the first time I've played since we played Tierra Rajada.
It's too long.
Because nobody wanted me to take a celebrity shot at the event where you had a couple swings.
Well, I didn't really take celebrity shot. What I did is on the first tee, I just asked if I could tee it up with whoever. I was just kind of be like, I want to get some swings in, So got a couple of shots in.
Exactly. So, luckily for us, I know it's a lot of rounds. A couple of those rounds are Chip N Chirps. So big shout out to Clean Park for really helping us out and allowing us to use the facilities to grow our page and the brand. So we're so fortunate to them and thankful for them. So that's kind of how we have so many rounds planned,
Yeah. They provided
shout out to Sunday Golf too. I've seen you guys working with them. Great company. Derek's got his Sunday bag behind us actually.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm moving.
I got to clean my clubs tonight,
They talk about a company that is wholesome from start to finish. I mean, you walk into their offices and they have caricatures of every single employee up in their office.
That's
where they're from, even ones that are, overseas in the Philippines
or
wherever, just represent every single employee. And, we were lucky enough to just do a photo shoot with them to see the behind the scenes. And, their CEO, Ronan, is out there lugging bags, walking the course. And for us as, prior athletes and guys who respect hard work and appreciate hard work, we're all in on Sunday Golf, man.
Yep.
That's amazing. We've done some stuff with Ronan and Sunday Golf bags a while back. Some of the Sunday bags, specifically, and then obviously they've grown into full bags because they had like the Sunday bag, the smaller ones, which are perfect for par threes and such.
Right, the lower bag. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But kind of going back to that, you're playing 6 rounds. Golf isn't cheap, right? So, like you said, kind of shout out to the facility there. What was that like for you guys? Like, hey, I want to create this content. We got these ideas. Let's brainstorm. And then, how do you approach a golf course? Like, hey, this is what we're trying to do. Did you have a lot of pushback on that, or did you know some people at the facility that was like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's do that? Because I feel like some courses are a little bit more open to the idea, and then some are a little bit more hesitant. So how was that for you guys when you started that out, creating the content?
Well, when we first started, I mean, obviously it was an investment for us. It's like, okay, we have to have a plan going to the course. What type of content are we going to get? But in the beginning, though, it was just more organic than anything. It was just like, all right, let's just film, see what we get out of it, and people could see our actual personalities. And from there, it's like, okay, now we started getting some brand names. Okay, we'll do it and dedicate it to them a little bit more. And I mean, this is our first time being able to kind of open up our creativity when it comes to, making film, being able to dissect the film, and what would our community like to see from us, So, I mean, and we truly enjoy it, and we obviously want to continue to push forward with it.
So when you guys are doing stuff like that, do you have like a videographer that you guys team up with? Like we use, his name's Ty. Ty is Roger Steele's videographer and caddy, but Ty lives right down the road from me, which is funny. He's actually doing media day with us.
Small world, right?
So he's going to eat and film a 2v2 with us. So he's going to call me pretty again. I'm going to get flustered and have to stand off the tee. So we, at the last shindig, not the one that just happened, but the one that we did here, we went to Wisconsin to play a round of golf. He's shooting me and he goes, dude, your hair is just so pretty. And I'm like, you can't do it. I'm about to tee off. It's over a neighborhood road. There's cars coming. I'm like, I'm gonna smoke that car if you make me laugh. So I'd like step off and like take a breather. And to be fair, the shot in my hair is like
Pretty legit, like really wavy.
well, Dre with Back Nine Bully said the same thing. He goes, dude, your hair is just great to shoot. And I'm like, I am fucking pissed off at my hair right now. So thank you. But do you guys have like a videographer between you two, or do you guys just like run and gun with your phones or whatever?
So we have contracted out a videographer for our Chip N Chirps. We did the first Chip N Chirps with my wife Chelsea and his girlfriend Irene. And if you watch it, handing the phone back and forth, no matter how you chop it up, looks like poop, dog. You know what I mean? And so at that point, it's not about us, right? It's telling other people's story, and we don't want it to look like that or seem like that. So we invested in our videographer. His name is Daniel. Takes great photos. You know, he knows the game well. Is like a 6 or 7 handicap.
Oh wow, so he's a pretty solid golfer.
Yeah, really, really solid golfer. So it works seamlessly when you have somebody who knows the game. And is familiar with photography and videography.
For sure.
Is he on IG?
Yeah.
Plug your guy.
Daniel _ Florian _ 99.
There we go.
_ Florian
plus
99. We'll make sure to put. We're always plugging in when he does our.
No, absolutely. So that's exactly what this podcast is based off of. It's how do we help people tell their stories? It's not about Derek and I. There are some episodes where it is just about Derek and I, right?
Last hair.
Yeah. And us trying to name stuff while eating pizza rolls.
Yeah, that's been a lot of shit.
That's one of my favorites. But it's, hey, how can we give away our platform to you guys for a little bit? So anything you have going, plug away. Definitely plug Daniel. You know, we're plugging Ty and everything. Absolutely. And, you know, Roger and stuff like that. And
it's really cool to be able to see how some of these, not just influencers, but brands, companies, whatever it might be, you know, you see them from maybe they just started out, and then all of a sudden a year down the road, they're just like taking off. And it's like, I'm not saying that we did that, but it's just cool to be able to be a part of it. And that's what we try to do here. That's kind of the goal, whether it's a influencer, brand, business, a company, we love to help out. And I guess it's kind of our way to give back too, in a sense. So we just love hearing people's stories, because golf is such a humbling sport and such a great sport and a game. But at the same time, it's amazing how many people and that we've met along the way. I mean, obviously we'll talk about it a little bit further down the road here, but we met you guys at the Shindig, and it's just cool to be able to see some of the people that we'll talk to through Instagram or whatever it might be, and then actually now put a face to it, be like, we were just messaging and now we are at a golf event together. So it's really humbling and very cool to be able to share the platform, but also get to know you a little bit more and hear the story. So we appreciate again you coming on, and so you're doing awesome things, and it seems like you're doing it the right way. So keep up the great work.
We appreciate
of things you're doing. Can you talk about the Chip N Chirp? Mm-hmm. Just, you know, I want to be a part of one if I'm ever out in San Diego, because I like to talk trash. I like to talk shit, and then especially since I can't back it up, so it's hilarious to watch.
Worked out perfectly.
Oh yeah, like if you need me to flop shot, I'll flop it. Anything else? No, I'll talk shit with the best of them, but I kind of want to talk about it, break that down for the people who haven't, you know, seen the first one.
Yeah, well, so it's kind of a funny story. I'll share a little story before we get into the Chip N Chirp and what that's about, because it kind of ties into this. But before we followed you guys and before we met you guys in person, Donald over at Kingsman, we met him at Good Company at an event, and we were having a conversation, and he goes, based off what you guys are saying and, you know, what I see in you guys remind me of these two, the Save Par podcast, Dom and Derek. They're in Minnesota, and we had no idea. And, you know, long story short, we're here on the Save Par podcast, and so thankful. But
shout out
Don. Yeah,
exactly.
Don's the man.
But what you guys are doing on the Save Par podcast is what we're looking to do on the Chip N Chirp, right? So, obviously, the first episode was my wife and his girlfriend, but the second episode we consider our first guest was Alyssa with New Lady Golfer. And just allowing her to tell her story is what we're looking for in the Chip and Chirp. So it's a hashtag scramble up.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we do a scramble at a short course. We have Daniel there, who's our videographer, like we talked about, and we just ask questions. How'd you become creative? Why'd you start? Where do you want to go next? What's advice that you would have for somebody that's looking to do something that maybe you do? You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, and then like we added like little parts to our Chip and Chirp where each guest that's come on, they brought their own taste to it too. So like New Lady Golfer, they have a breakfast ball. So it's a New Lady Golfer breakfast ball. And then Pat Diaz came in, who was our second guest, and he was like, oh, let's bring up golf etiquette. So every time that someone else comes on, they talk about what golf etiquette would you want other new beginning golfers to know, so it's just things like that to make the Chip and Chirp a little bit more, fun, creative,
personable.
Yeah.
That's really cool. It's a great idea too. I love it.
You need to get Ralph on, because Ralph's in San Diego from Los Golferos.
Actually, Ralph is one of our rounds this week. Sunday, we're playing with Ralph.
Nice. There you go.
North. Yeah, really looking
Where are you
forward
playing?
to that one. Oaks North.
Oaks North. Okay.
He texted me. He's like, morning, bro. And I'm like, damn, look at you texting me good morning and shit. And I think his exact response was, oh, wow.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, don't tell me good morning. You're going to get a smart ass answer back. And it was like noon.
Because Dom is not. It was
noon. It was noon here, so it was like 10 a.m. Here, and he goes, "Oh, wait, afternoon." I'm like, "What can I do for you?"
So like you'd mentioned, you're kind of doing almost like a podcast or a segment, right? But you're doing it on the course. So you're still trying to learn about the person or the guests, but also trying to incorporate some other interesting things, maybe for people that aren't, maybe they're just trying to get into the game, like you said, golf etiquette. So also kind of learning some things that some people might not know. For example, I've golfed with some newer golfers before, and they'll like on the green, right? You're putting, and all of a sudden they're just stomping all over the green. Right. They don't understand what, going on someone's line or walking over the line, right? Which isn't a big deal. I'm not really like a serious golfer.
I actually saw this thing, not to interrupt you, but they said now that people are using more and more plastic spikes and spikeless, it does not matter.
As you say, it's not a really, yeah.
Yeah, because now there's no metal spike holes.
But just kind of going back,
hit them with your putter.
Yeah, this is what happens if you step it through the, But just going back to some people are like, I don't know, I was just walking on the green going to grab my ball, or going to putt it. So I think it's really cool. It's a like a non-serious type of interview, essentially, right?
Yeah. Right. So we wanted to make it a scramble format to alleviate any fear or pressure. And talking about plugs, shout out to Sunday Golf because they donated an extra Loma bag for us. So if somebody comes on and they don't have a small bag that they can carry, we actually have the bag for them. And shout out to Bomb Tech, who actually sent us out an entire set for somebody who doesn't have a set. So we're looking to host somebody who's never played golf before, but has a story to tell. That's an entrepreneur, like one of our friends that's going to be coming up. Corbin over at Tap Truck, and he has his own barbecue spot. So shout out Corbin. But we're so fortunate to be able to host people that have never played. And that's kind of what our page is about, right? Incorporating sticks, which we are not, but with people who have never played and making sure that it's just about the time spent together, right? And that's something that motivates us deeply.
Sure. The scramble golf, like scramble tournament or scramble like style of golf or format, I should say, is such a fun format. I mean, besides like a Top Golf where you can kind of be a social, if you don't play golf or maybe you just want to hit some balls, but you can still actually, if you want to have a drink or just get some food. Besides Top Golf, I think the scramble format is such a great way to just take the pressure off of somebody. So I love that spin. That's very cool. And that is the bag that I was thinking of, the Loma bag. That was the original, like the small bag. I was calling it a Sunday bag because some people do call it a Sunday bag, but it is Sunday, the company. So yes, that was the bag I was thinking of. And when we had our shindig here last year, we had something very similar to that. It was probably one of the coolest things. We we had it was at a brewery the night before, and we had a couple of people that came out to it, and they're like, yeah, this is our first time playing golf. We just saw it. And so like the fact that
Really?
yeah, I forget the name, but he had sent me
Dude, I drank so much that night. People kept handing me drinks, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna say no.
they're free.
That whole week is kind of a blur.
I love that side of Dom. Dom doesn't really drink a lot, so it's kind of great when he just kind of like,
Oh, dude, so the first ever shindig, I ran away, and
California.
yeah, so we did the first one in San Jose.
He didn't run away.
So in my mind, so we're at we went bar hopping, but we ended up at a couple clubs, and just to paint the scene, I'm in like a shirt, shorts, and Crocs.
Not just regular Crocs. They're
like the Salehi,
they're like
Bembury
nutback looking Crocs.
So I'm in like the Salehi.
You know those like tannish, like
no, mine are pink.
Oh,
yeah. So I have the Salehi Bembury Crocs. So I'm running around in those, and I have socks on because I'm not letting the dogs hang out. So
these dogs are.
This is probably like the fourth bar we're at, and I know there's a Taco Bell cantina in San Jose, and I love Taco Bell. Taco Bell is my guilty pleasure. I go at least once a week. So when I was in California, I really missed it. And I kept saying, everyone's like, where are we going to go for dinner? I'm like, I
don't care.
There's this great Mexican place, Taco Bell. And they're like, Dom, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, I know there's a cantina. And in my brain, I went up to Derek and said, hey, I'm going to go find this. And I left. In reality, I just ran away out the door. And I found the cantina, but a nice man showed me the way. I don't know who this guy was, but it was with Brendan from Duffin' Up.
Shout out Duffin'
Big
Up.
Red. And I have videos of us at Taco Bell with my tacos. And I remember I didn't eat them all, so I put it back in my pocket because I don't know why. And then I went back to the club. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, right.
Did the Twins tie it? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but that's not what sorry, I was listening. Kyrie Irving, I think, just signed a deal. We were just talking about Kyrie.
Oh, where's he going? To the Wolves?
Hopefully to the Wolves. We'll see.
Fuck. Anyways, so now Derek has to go, where's Dom?
Dude, yeah, Dom just disappeared, and I was like, I know exactly where he's at. At the TV, baby.
Yeah.
BBC.
But this is us though. Again, we get sidetracked on this because I was telling a story and then Dom had to fit another story. So now going back to the story.
Hold on. Well, funny enough, the last shindig that was here, we spent the entire week at a taqueria. Essentially, every night we went to a place called Fuzzy's, and Fuzzy's is all over.
Yeah.
So we're having tacos and margaritas. So every night I'm wandering back to Derek's apartment, not wearing Crocs though, because I thought that'd be a little too much for everybody. Is me in Crocs.
Yeah, those aren't Crocs,
again.
I have two pairs. I bought a blue pair.
They're comfy, I will say, but I'm not a Croc.
So every shindig we've gotten. I shouldn't say I have gotten just absolutely blasted with alcohol and tacos, except for this last one. It made me kind of sad.
Yes. So
although Tierra Hada, I was walking sideways after all the tequila Hex threw down my throat.
I tried to have one beer at the Tierra Hada and someone broke my beer glass. So I had two sips. And
did you hear that I tried to chirp you?
Yeah.
On the last one?
And on 18, yeah.
I stood up and I was yelling. So 18, I'm standing up at the bar on the rocks. I'm like, that's Derek's team. I'm fucking giving Derek hell. And then they pull through. I'm like, that wasn't Derek's team.
Going back to the original story, we had a group of people that never played golf before. So I got to sit down on my ass because I never met them. And I think that's the other cool thing. We have a lot of people that will kind of travel within our community of our shindigs, right? Which is obviously very humbling and really, really cool. So we love that, but it's also very cool to be able to see new people that we've never met before. And, kind of how did you hear about it? Or on social media, and this is our first time playing golf, in an event. And it's really how many times have you played? Oh no, we just done the driving range before. I'm like, that is so cool. And that's the whole point. Kind of going back to what you're saying, the Save Park Golf podcast, this, we want to try to grow the game in a way too, where we can make you feel like you don't have to be a 2 handicap, a 7 handicap. You could be a 20 handicap. You might not even have a handicap. That doesn't even matter, right? Let's just have a good time and the vibes. That's what it's all about. We're trying to grow the game. And I think golf is at a really good place right now, whether it's fashion, all these other things. But I think people are starting to realize like you don't have to wear, a slacks and a, polo if you don't want to. If you want to wear a polo, I mean, I'm wearing a polo right now, but you don't have to.
I'm
right?
the odd one out not wearing a polo.
But I'm just saying, it's not like, back in the day, it was like if you weren't wearing that with tucked in with the belts and foot joys to, the two-tone foot joys, and you're not going to get on the course, right? And I think where we're at right now is we're in a good spot for golf. So I think your timing is great to be able to do what you're doing. And I think that's awesome. So, but kind of like getting back to it, I think it's really cool knowing that people that are wanting to play golf, that haven't been able to play golf, and that you're being able to be like, hey, you don't need clubs. You can just come here. You don't have a bag. That's okay. We can help you out with that. Let's just have a conversation.
Yeah. You don't even have to play, right? I mean, you can hit as many shots as you want and just kind of walk and talk, right?
Yep.
That's kind of what we want it to be about, is just come tell your story. Let's have a little fun. Maybe get a hole-in-one ever, please, Jesus. But that's what the Chip N Chirp is all about. So we're really blessed to be able to host that at a couple facilities, mainly Kalina Park here in San Diego. So
where or how often are you going to try to release these episodes?
You got me right in the heart, man. I'm going to be honest. Firstly, I'm going to apologize to the people that we've had on. We've already filmed 4 episodes, but we are getting our asses absolutely handed to us at this point, trying to make this a business. Sure. And so for us, we don't want to half-ass the Chip N Chirp, right? Yep. It's not our story. It's not about us. So we're taking some time. And again, I apologize to those who have been on and shared their time with us. We're a little embarrassed, but we want to make it the B.I.T.O boys way, where we're giving 100% effort into it. So we're looking to alleviate some other things around us so that we can kind of get some help and make sure that we give that Chip N Chirp the
full attention
it deserves.
Sure. No need to apologize, but that's great.
That's what we do, right? Like, basically my process, Derek. Well, I mean, once I leave Derek's apartment, he has nothing to really do with it other than clicking accept on the collaboration, which sometimes takes him a few days.
Sometimes there's a 24 to 48 hour time.
I haven't said anything to you, but I had to do a collaboration, and it asked me if I was sure this time.
Like, you sure? You sure?
Well, it's because there was something you haven't accepted from like weeks ago.
And Dom's from blast.
I thought it was funny because it's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, I am sure.
This guy's not legit.
But like, what I do is that's kind of why we record on Tuesdays. That way, Wednesday, Thursday, reels of you guys go up. That's not for us. That is to have people say, oh, this is who's coming. Post goes out today. Wednesday, Thursday are reels. Friday's the wrap up, but Friday's also when the pod drops. So that's my thought process, is how can I give you guys as much shine as I can throughout the week? And I don't know if that helps you guys with your thought process, but that's kind of what I do. And people really like it because then they're like, oh, it's like it's different than doing just like little like sneak peeks of the episode, because it's like a full on reel, So I don't know if that's going to help you guys or not. But in my brain, I was like, this is so much better than just being like, oh man, don't forget to tune in. It's like, well, now it's a tangible product that people can come back to.
Right. Yeah, we're trying to fine tune it, right? Because we're filming the Chip N Chirp for long form, which is horizontal. And it just really does not translate to Instagram. When you try to put out the horizontal films, it just looks like crap. And it's basically, if you add captions, it's all captions. So we're definitely trying to find ways where we can highlight people the way that they deserve, right? So that's kind of what we're finagling. But I love that tip for us. I think that gives us a better structure on how we can do things.
We're just trying to find apps to where like we could actually like get those clips out there, so we could.
I'm a big fan, and this is something that we pay for. It's Opus, OPUS. Basically what I do is I'll go home eventually. I'll redo the audio and everything.
After Taco Bell.
Yeah, I always go to Taco Bell. Tuesday is my T-Bell day. I'll redo the audio, sync it up, and then I'll put the video right into Opus, and Opus will spit out like 20 reels for me in my email. And I have it set to make them for Instagram. So like obviously this video is horizontal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Opus will make it vertical. And it'll do all the subtitles, everything. You could even have it set to post it for you. I kind of want to do that just myself. I don't know, because it's something to do at noon every day. So that's an option. It's not super expensive either, but it is something that we use, and it is a product that we do enjoy it. It's easy. It's super fun.
Does it edit your long videos too? Like, can you build out your entire your long term?
It won't like build it for you, but you could put in the long form. It'll chop it up into what it thinks is entertaining. So, I mean,
I do like key points too. Like
you could type in like keywords. Like if there's something that was like, wow, I really enjoyed that. Like for me, I could type in Tony Gwynn, and it would find Tony Gwynn clips that we talked about, or clips that say Tony Gwynn. Mm-hmm. It's not going to build your video. You still have to do that, but it would take all of like at this point and this point, I want to make a reel. It takes all of that out of there for you. So for me, it's just like an added step of I don't have to do it. I can't edit videos. It's not that I can't. It's just super confusing to me. I'll leave that up to Ty. I'd rather edit pictures all day, every day. And Ty is the opposite, which sounds like your videographer is the same way. But that's something we use, and I really do enjoy it. It helps me quite a bit. All the reels we posted, the last handful that aren't like from my GoPro, are from Opus.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely take a look at that. Thank you. Yeah, we heard about that from Mike at Good Company, actually. Yesterday, we were filming a Chip and Chirp, and he mentioned Opus. So we'll have to take a look. Yeah, anything to relieve or alleviate some of the
editing time.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, we're getting to a point where we need like 8 people at this point to function. So it's a great problem to have, but you know, we go back to making sure that we want to do things right by other people. Right.
Are you primarily on Instagram, and then do you do a lot? I know you have YouTube as well. I mean, with the horizontal stuff, I'm sure it makes sense more on YouTube versus obviously Instagram. Yeah, with a different frame, it doesn't really correlate the same way. So yeah, like you said, if you're able to kind of highlight, like a highlight reel on Instagram, that would make the most sense. Versus Dom and I've kind of had that conversation too, and that's kind of where Dom does a lot of pretty much all the podcast stuff, right? And so like, for us to like create content, because that's kind of one of our goals, is to do a lot more of
we almost need a
like you need somebody there, like whether it's an intern or someone to help out, and it's also more organic too, where it's like now Dom doesn't have to worry about videotaping like me and then taking a video of Dom swinging and crunching it together, where we can have someone, we can just have our normal conversation and have somebody taking the video. And I think that's something we're trying to do too in the future. That's kind of one of our goals. Monday we'll do that. Yes.
There you go.
But like you said though, it's kind of a undertaking too. Like it's not just one person or two people. Sometimes it's a lot of people that are involved. It's not. It looks easy from behind the scene when you're just watching a video, but in all reality, it isn't. So, do you prefer? Because I know Instagram is a pretty powerful platform, but do you prefer posting on Instagram? I'd imagine like the communication, like with DMing and all that other stuff, is more powerful on Instagram versus YouTube. Or have you seen a big difference between the two?
For us, primarily, we've just been on Instagram since we've started.
Okay.
We threw a couple of shorts up on Instagram here and there, but we've only really been focused on Instagram or YouTube for the Chip and Chirp.
Right.
Gotcha. So yeah, we just got our TikTok up and running, but I just feel comfortable at home on Instagram, man. It's just kind of what we use since the start. And
do you have? Okay, let me ask both of you. Do you guys have a specific video that comes to mind as far as like your personal favorite golf video, whether it's a Chip and Chirp or just some random video that you guys post on Instagram? Do you guys have a favorite?
I do. I think we do. We also host a thing called the Chip and Challenge, which is we bring products that we've collected from our brand sponsorships and stuff like that, and we kind of give the opportunity for people at the range to earn some of these prizes. Basically, I don't know if you guys seen it yet, but there was a video where a guy that hasn't even played golf yet, or like this was his first time golfing on the course, and then we had him come up to the range and just try, just give it a little bit of effort. And those are the things that kind of like, from my perspective, and I know for him too, it's like a blessing, because it's like we're being able to like pass those things on to the next group of golfers, and and spread that community.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the stuff that resonates with us. Mine is kind of a sneak peek because it's coming out tomorrow. But we just we paid it forward at Newport Beach. We were supposed to host, I don't know if you guys saw, we were trying to host a 12-hour giveaway. Didn't end up working. It is what it is. Fridays, Don, we're talking about people can't golf with us because we're the unemployed golfers, but they weren't able to come. They had an accident, needed to reschedule, and we're like, we're going to go up there anyways. We actually had our third was our camera guy. We paid for Daniel's round, had him come golf with us and just hang out with us. And then we got to the course, and I just said, hey, I'm going to buy four rounds and 2 carts. The next person that can come up and meet us at the 12:50 tee time, send them on up. The round's on us.
That's amazing.
And coincidentally, this big 6'5" big dude, right? And we're pretty big dudes, but this guy is making us look tiny. Ends up being Troy Nicholas, played for the Fighting Irish when they were runner-up, played in the NFL for a bit. And it's just kind of goes back to show you that when you're doing the things for the right reasons, I don't want to say you get rewarded, but you just are put in opportunities that you probably never would have been if you had.
That's amazing. That comes out tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to post it tomorrow.
Really cool. I love that. We've kind of tossed around some ideas too of doing just something, not necessarily the same thing like that, but it just, like you said, if you're able to give back and give something out to it just, you're not looking to get anything in return, but it just makes it feel that much more special when you're able to do that, right?
And it helps that you partnered with really great companies like Bomb Tech. Like Willis has been on the pod, and he's been great. He'll DM me every once in a while, like, hey, how are the wedges? And I'm like, they're great. The issue is I have like still newish Vokies that I paid for, and I'm like, they're not in the bag yet because I spent a good amount of money on these wedges. They're a great company that is like, hey, we're not built for really good golfers. We're built for the everyday new golfer. So the fact that, they sent you clubs, fantastic. Sunday, I mean, if you have the small Loma bag we're thinking about, that's a great bag. Just have somebody like walk around with, because it weighs nothing.
Yeah,
and
very convenient bag.
It's super convenient. It's great when companies find people like you guys, and it just blends seamlessly. We have a couple of companies we work with that is like that as well, or that are like that as well. But it's also just like that's great that you're just like, hey, we just want to do this, and this, and they're like, fuck yeah, we got you. What do you need?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we can't thank them enough, right? Just to give us the product that they give, and it's a great product. We both use Bomb Tech wedges, and are seriously considering reaching out and seeing if they'll suit us for a full bag.
Do it.
And allow us to become.
I know Willis runs the IG page. The worst is
I'll get him on the phone right now.
There you go.
That's why we had him sponsor one of our closest to the pins. It's like, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You got both your lines?
I got excited about the wedges.
Damn, you got both lines. Yeah. But that's why we had him sponsor one of the clothes. It's like, great company, good products, and hopefully whoever won it can either use them or know somebody who could use them, right? Like that's the whole.
They should have got him. I haven't got a message back from him, but I was messaging back and forth with Bomb Tech and him, so they should have him by
like that. At the end of the day, it's like that's what it's for, right? If you can use it, great. If you know somebody else who could use it, even better.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we love those companies, and their mission is, cohesive with ours. It parallels ours. So it, like you're talking about, Dom, it's just seamless to work with these companies to whatever level they'll allow us or have us on for,
Right.
So I do have another question. It's kind of similar to the one I just asked, but do you have like an experience that maybe comes to mind, like since starting this page in this company? Is there something that you got to do like really cool? I know like Dom and I will always kind of bring up we've been invited. This is our third year now in a row, the 3M Open. So we get to we've had some really cool experiences in that sense and got to, travel, play some other courses. Is there something like that really comes to mind that you could think of?
I think for me, it's just everything that's been involved in this page. The people that we've met and the opportunities that we've gotten from this page is just and that's why we're doing the Chip N Chirp. I keep going back to it, but we're trying to inspire other people to find that creativeness in themselves, right? It may not be golf content, but maybe somebody knows how to cook and they're not really sure that they can be the one to start a restaurant, but maybe we have somebody on that gives them that little piece of advice or that influence that gets them to start their restaurant. And bam, now we have a new restaurant in town that's delicious and somebody has a career that they really enjoy.
Yeah, to piggyback off of Brandon, it's just all the connections that we've created, like doing this. Like we had no idea that we would get to the point that we are at now. And now being able to talk to these people who are like higher ups that could, help us to help other people, and that's the stuff that you can't take away, like all those memories that we've created with all those people. So
like playing Pelican Hill with Tom Gibbons from Darts Only and Tom Senior. They host us out at Pelican Hill. I've never played that spot and likely would have never played that spot had it not been for them. So those are kind of the opportunities that we're talking about. And it's just coming from organic conversations. We met Tom at another Good Company event and, he's his company Darts Only and his OC Golf Events company that he shares are all about incorporating the good in people and having the best surrounding cast so that the tournaments run smoothly and are enjoyable.
Sure. That's awesome. I haven't played Pelican Hill, but a long time ago, many years ago, we stayed out in a place right next. So we could see it and I was like, that's when I was like really into golf, but I was like, we had other commitment. Granted, it's very expensive. It's hard to get onto too, but I know what you're talking about. It's a beautiful looking course. So
that was the first time I walked into a clubhouse or a pro shop and was like, I should probably turn it.
Yeah. Why are we here?
Yeah.
It's like when you go to like the like those videos of like when you go to a buddy's like country club and you just start grabbing for all the keys and everything else.
That's how it felt at first. So we have one of the only private TPC courses in the country in TPC Twin Cities. We can't just book a tee time and go play. It's completely private. So whenever the 3M Open hosts us and have us out, I remember last year, it's like, how many tees can I grab? Just a handful. And then on our way back, I was like, how many beers can fit in our bag? I found out I can fit like a whole 12 pack in my bag. Like, no problem. But it's like, one, it's like, I know how to act. It's fine.
Do you?
Sometimes. Dude, Monday might be, you might have to keep a leash on me.
Dom's gonna be wearing those pants that have pockets everywhere, and every pocket's gonna be filled with tees, ball markers,
cargo
pants. Well, they normally give us stuff too, so I wonder what they're gonna give us this year. But it's like those little events that you're just like, I would never do this if it wasn't for social media. We've been talking about Sunday all day, but it's like Omnix is like a company that we work with, and I said, hey, like we really want to give away Omnix bags at this year's event. And they're like, hey, we only have 3. I was like, I kind of need 4. And then as soon as they had a 4th one in stock, they were like, hey, we have 4. It's a little bit different being a stand bag. I was like, don't care. Let's run it.
Yeah.
And they're like, where do we ship them to? Like, no questions asked, no nothing. And I was like, send them to Raul because I don't want to travel with 5 golf bags. And, companies like that, you meet through social media, and then you have the little events like Pelican Hill. For us, it's the 3M Open, and it's like, it's a silly little Instagram page that we run, but it's like it means so much to us, and we have so much fun doing it that all of a sudden it's not just a silly little page anymore.
Yeah, you get to meet actual real people that you have conversations with and
Don
relationships.
said at the best of the shindig, he's like, damn, you and I send voice messages back and forth to each other. I was like, I know. And he's like, and now you're here. And I'm like, I've been here all week, dude. Where have you been? He's like, San Diego. I'm like, well, you shouldn't have been in San Diego all week. He saw me and he's like, dude, I kind of pictured you as like a big teddy bear, but you're like a linebacker. And I'm like, I won't go that far. I'd be like a really small linebacker, Don. But it all goes hand in hand, right? Like, it's social media, it's a silly little golf page, but it unites so many people in a lot of really fun, positive ways.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest things that you just hit on, Dom, is when you get a little bit of taste that you can actually affect someone else's life by doing this in a positive way. I think that's something that is our biggest motivating factor, and kind of something that was the decision as to why we're going full go birdies in the outfield. Why we have the 6 rounds booked this week. For us, it's about being boots on the ground. How many meetings can we have? Where can we change the game of golf to spread a little bit more joy, to have a little bit more camaraderie between male and female, and just do what we can to leave the best imprint on golf that birdies in the outfield B the boys can.
For sure.
I love that. I think, well, 2 things. One, we had you on the podcast, so I think it's only right if we get on the Chip and Chirp out there.
Absolutely.
Got to come out there and come out there, right? That would
or you got to come to us.
or you come to us. Either one.
Honestly, that's what we're hoping this evolves into, right? And if you guys can find a par 3 course that'll have us out there, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
There's literally one in our backyard.
I'm sure we could. I'm sure we can make that work.
Yeah, you might get hit by a couple balls. You might have to bob and weave. But Theodore Wirth's par 3 it's a fun little track.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that are around here that we could definitely work that out. So,
or if you want to do a full 18, go to Troy Burn again.
We could do that too. We could do it. We can make it a 2-day deal, whatever you want.
Okay. Yeah.
With that being said, though, I think maybe we could talk a little bit afterwards. But doing some sort of like that pay it forward thing with the golf rounds of golf, I think something would be cool. Do like some sort of collaborative type of deal like that. We can work
Involve us
something
in
out.
anything you guys
We're here for it.
Yeah, I think that's great. I love that, and I said, I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I'm sure Don would be on board. I'd love to be able to do something where we can. So we can talk a little bit more after that, but
putting words in my mouth.
Yeah, I've said more speaking for myself, but at the same time,
as long as it's about Taco Bell, baby.
yeah.
Dude, we had a segment where it's like, and it was like one of the reels that did really well last year. It's like, who is your dream sponsor? And I was like, Taco Bell. Like, you fucking stupid. And he's like, and I was like, I pictured like a Taco Bell bag, like a golf bag. Like, imagine like the 90s Taco Bell colors on that bad boy.
Like the teal and purple one?
Yeah.
Purple.
Yeah. How sick would that be?
Yeah. I gotta ask, what's your order at TB?
Ooh.
So I like to switch it up because I do like their seasonal stuff every now and then. It's like lately it's been those like Lux boxes because it's like I want to try like the chicken tender burrito thing that they're doing.
I've seen
it's good. It's
like chicken. It's a commercial with it. It's like a chicken wrap or like a burrito with a breaded chicken.
Yeah. But it's got like cabbage and shit. It's good. Otherwise, like I gotta do chalupa supreme, no tomato because I don't like tomatoes. And then like a Doritos Locos every day, like every day. I'm like that. And then a little sleeper item is the spicy potato taco.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's no meat on it, but it's just potato, cheese, lettuce, and then a chipotle sauce. It's good. It's like $1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we move on, you got to do a little video of taking a bite of that burrito and going with the chicken strips.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. You need to do that video after taking a bite because you're at Taco Bell and you're getting chicken strips, dog.
It's so good. It's so good.
I love that.
Taco Bell, please sponsor me. Not Derek, just me.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Chipotle. That's my spot. That's what I would be getting sponsored by. Chipotle is always that's my go-to. Okay, I have one other question, and then we'll just do a couple of rapid fire questions. Just if there's anything that you want to add, obviously, by all means, feel free to. But actually, 2 questions. Where do you see Birdies in the Outfield in 5 years, as far as merch, media brand? Like, what events? Like, what do you guys see in 5 years? I know it's a long way down the road, but we like to kind of ask. Most people have some visions of, for the future.
Yeah, I would love to see this brand where Jomel and I can kind of fade into the back. Where Birdies in the Outfield is hosting or sponsoring up and coming golfers or underprivileged kids in the sports world. Selling merch. I think, we're going to dip into merch. We have to find ways to monetize Birdies in the Outfield. But I think we're going to have merch coming out. We have some things in the work now. But we're looking to kind of do it all with the sense of giving back and being able to that be the sole focus. For Jomel and I, we never really started this to be the faces of a brand. So one of our biggest missions is to ensure that the brand can stand alone and it represents a community,
right?
Not us, because that's why we're the B.i.T.O boys.
That's why we are Birdies in the Outfield, because it's not us two, it's the community that.
Okay. I love that.
So we're just the B.i.T.O boys. That's all.
Oh, you're more than that. You guys are you guys. I love that. So one more question before we do rapid fire questions. What's one piece of advice that you give to someone getting into golf, whether it's maybe they want to create content or they're just actually trying to get into the game of golf, they're new to golf. Like, what's one piece of advice you'd offer them?
Work on your short game. Start out with short game. I mean, you could go to the range and then don't go out to the bigger courses. We were talking about it yesterday. It's like, can a new golfer go straight into a big course? I'm like, I'd rather take those steps as a new golfer to, go to a range, play a par 3, then an executive, and then, play with the big boys. So that's what I would say.
And mine is have patience and a realistic expectation. I think the realistic expectation part is big because golf can crush you and it can crush you quick. Golf is a very, very hard sport. So if you go in with expectations, like even as an ex-baseball player, I got this down, I got the swing, I can figure this out. It's really, really hard to get a golf swing down. So I think having realistic expectations is something is a fundamental to having a great time out on the golf course.
Sure. Yeah, both great answers. I love this. Okay, a couple of rapid fire questions. We'll wrap it up here. First one I'll ask, what is the best, I don't necessarily say fan interaction, but what's maybe like the best message that you guys have ever received, maybe through a DM or maybe just a comment on Instagram? Is there one that really kind of pops into your head at all?
No, just seeing people outside of the social media world, like, hey, we see what you're doing with Birdies in the Outfield. We love the direction that it's going to, and just continue to push forward. And it's just like that gives us the push that we want to, expand this thing. So
yeah, I think for me, it's getting the messages from people. Hey, love the brand, love what you guys are doing. I think one of the biggest gifts we've ever got was this past Sunday from Wes Littleton. He works from Titleist. I don't know if you guys saw, but talking about Vokey wedges.
Oh, yeah, I did
he made each one of us a Vokey wedge with B.i.T.O boys written on it.
Damn,
even
right?
Yeah, even down to the small detail of having the lowercase I. So for us, it's really touching that people feel the need or the desire or the want to give their time to us and spend some of their time on us. And for us, it's shocking and very, very humbling.
Right.
Did I tell you about the fan interaction my mom had?
You did, yeah. It was in a gym or something.
I found out that I kind of didn't tell a story, right? So my mom's a badass. Everybody calls her Jake Quellen.
Jake Quellen.
Uh-huh.
Her name's Jacqueline, but she loves Key and Peele. And she's a teacher, so she loves Jake Quellen. It's the funniest shit ever.
Substitute teacher?
I thought she's like a full-on teacher. Although in elementary school, she subbed for me for a day. Worst day of my life. So I thought she had on like the shindig shirt. She had on, do you remember the old Hole 9 hoodies you had?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, how do you know Safe Par? And my mom goes, oh, I'm Tom's mom. And they go, what?
That is crazy.
So that's local.
Yeah.
So my mom has fans. I don't have fans, apparently.
Oh, you have fans. I mean, you got people telling your hair's nice. Ty and Dre from over at Back Nine Bullies, right?
Oh yeah, John's pretty cool too. I can't forget John from Back Nine Bullies.
He's stud. Okay, I'm gonna ask you one more, and then you can kind of ask a couple questions. What's your home course or favorite place to film? I know you kind of already mentioned before, but you can repeat it if you'd like.
Yeah, Galena Park.
Galena Park. It's 18 hole. The longest hole I think is 118 yards or something like that.
Oh, nice.
They don't have grass tee boxes, so every tee box is a mat, so it's already easier. But they have water hazards. They have bunkers. Every green it's in like the best shape a golf course can be in, but it's like in park size. I don't know how to describe it. It's just one entire block of golf course.
Yeah.
And it's just an oasis is what I describe.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's tucked in a place where not many, San Diego tourists would go,
It's kind of a hidden gem, so to speak, if you weren't familiar with it. Sure. Okay. Go ahead, Don. Ask your questions.
So I was kind of thinking about this the other day. So other than golf, what is like another activity you guys do to, that you really enjoy?
Spending time with my kids. For me, especially now starting this brand in a business, it's taken a lot of time away from my family. But that's something that I'm willing to sacrifice to hopefully in the end get overall more time with them. But going to the San Diego Zoo, the San Diego Safari Park, SeaWorld, all the main attractions here in San Diego that we're blessed to have and just kind of living life through their eyes. I'm appreciating birds. I'm every Tuesday morning I'm outside going hoo 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 for the trash truck. It's really cool because it kind of parallels our page in a sense because we really rely on our childhood and things that we enjoyed as children to kind of lean back on our content. So it gives me a space to kind of step back and really enjoy the small things of life.
And for me, I still coach. So I'm coaching high school. Our high school team just got done going with a little run. We went to the CIF championship game and the state championship game. So, nice. But yeah, that being on the outside of it, being able to teach young kids and become, good men, and that's kind of where I have a passion for, and also spending time with family, girlfriend, all that stuff. So
let me tell you, Raul's kid, stud.
That's what you guys were saying. He showed up pretty late to the dinner. So
does not look like a catcher. Stud.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like in my world, he's a little scrawny to be a catcher. In my perfect world, everybody looks like a bowling ball who's a catcher. Huh?
How old is he?
He's in high school. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's gonna grow.
So he's got
he can fatten up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a stud. He just won Rookie of the Year in like a league that's older than him, which is crazy. Like he's playing with older kids.
I remember he was very, very respectful. He was at the dinner, right?
Yeah.
Super nice kid.
I know that because I sent him God knows how much custom Evo gear that they ordered through me. Don't know how that works, but cool. And then the last question that I had, I missed it at the shindig.
I forgot. And
Derek's in one ear, out the other. What's your guys' walk-up songs?
Shoot, mine growing up was Since 84 by Mac Dre. So I was a really big hypey movement guy being on the West Coast. And I know, I just love to hear that beat on the way up to home plate,
Mine's going to be Medication by Damian Marley.
What didn't we have a walk-up song for you guys? Did you pick one?
No, I don't think we did.
I was going to say, because there was a couple that we didn't get to do, and that's why I couldn't remember if we had one or not. That's what, because we had quite the collective choices of songs, which was awesome. I liked it. Same thing for anything like West Coast to like, there was some rock, there was some EDM, there's all sorts of stuff. So it's kind of cool. Just that's part of it. Is
did
like,
Sergio walk up to death metal?
No, they were last.
He tried to.
Sergio.
He tried to take me to like a death metal concert.
Yeah, there's all sorts of genres of music, so it's kind of a wide variety. With I do want to ask.
So Derek's walk-up song is always the '90s Bulls theme song.
Oh, okay.
And then switching up to 6'6" Michael Jordan. Then we're going to put 5'8" or 5'9", depending on the day. Derek Pettis.
Yeah, dude, I love that.
Everybody.
But yeah, that's my walk-up. So Dom Dom's always going to be
Mine switches all the time. It's
usually between two artists, though.
yeah, it's almost always something by Pop Smoke.
Yep. But you've been having
I've been into Key Glock lately.
Yeah.
Lately it's been What's Up by Young Miko. That one would just get me fucking amped walking up there.
384-yard slice to the right.
Oh, dude, it's not even, dude, it's going dead right. And then it's gonna be her saying, "What's up?"
What's up?
I'll be like, "Yeah, we're not taking that ball, guys. Thank God it's scramble."
So there was one other question I was going to ask when we were talking about it. You had answered something, and it was a really good answer. Now I'm drawing a blank on it.
You know what's crazy? You could have typed the question.
I know, but I was kind of caught in the moment. I didn't really. So
we have two laptops. So there's mine that we do all the fun stuff on, and then Derek's got his.
Mine's real basic. It's like $150.
It's like a Chromebook.
Yeah, real basic. But okay, we always ask our guests a food related question. Dom usually asks it, and you can ask it however you want to. So,
when we come down to San Diego, because at this point, we have to. We like to eat. Where are we going for lunch, breakfast, and dinner?
Besides Taco Bell, that'll be added in there at some point.
Yeah, that'll be like.
I'll start off with breakfast.
Go ahead.
Shout out to Family House. This has been. I've been going there since I was like 3 or 4 years old.
Oh, wow.
They have huge portions. Breakfast spot. Omelets this big, potatoes, pancakes, all for like $20, Doug.
It's called Family House?
Family House. Yep.
There's only one spot.
There's 2 spots now. I think there's one in like Lemon Grove and one, but the one that we love, downtown or Chula Vista on Broadway.
Right.
On Broadway.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's breakfast. All right. What are we doing for lunch?
I'll do you lunch. You can do lunch.
Shoot. You gotta get yourself a
chicken burrito at Taco Bell?
No.
You mean
we'll go tacos. We'll go tacos El Gordo. I go to tacos El Gordo. I mean, everyone knows that spot, like authentic Mexican street tacos. It's like right next to Family House.
Right up our alley, though. That's so far. These are 10 out of 10 on both places here. So, what are we doing for dinner?
I typically like this place. It's an under the table place. It's a staple in National City. It's called Cafe La Maze. Old school, like 60s, 70s butcher shop style steakhouse. You know, they got the red leather seats with like the red and gold flake wallpaper. You know, the black and white photos of old celebrities that have been in there. But they make a mean ass prime rib, Doug. Horseradish.
Honestly, like we get a lot of good like food answers, but I think this has got to be up there for.
Oh, don't forget dessert. Oasis.
Yeah. What are we doing for dessert? What are we doing for
Oasis ice cream? Yeah. We've done content there. We love the owners. It's the best ice cream that you'll ever have. It's the freshest ice cream you'll ever have. Oasis ice cream down in Coronado Avenue.
Imperial Beach, yeah.
IB.
Homemade Mexican ice cream. Insane. The creamiest thing you'll have. I don't really like to be saying the creamiest thing you'll have, but
yeah. Honestly, though, he said, "Yeah, this has got to be one of the best food responses." So
on day 2, we just eat at Ralph's house.
Yep. Then we go to Ralph's, and then we can hit up our Taco Bell and our Chipotle.
There we go.
And then we got to end with the In-N-Out.
Oh yeah.
Got to hit up In-N-Out. But now we got the correct way to order the food now.
Yeah, we don't have those here. So
okay. Yeah. We can take it In-N-Out, but it's going to be. Those other places are probably going to top it.
Yeah.
Burger. Yeah.
Fellas, man, it's a pleasure. Good to see you guys again. It was great to meet you. Obviously at the Shindig. Hopefully you guys had a good time at the Shindig. We'll have to extend this podcast episode, do another one down the road. So keep up the great work. Hopefully we can work out a Chip N Chirp down the road, have us on it, and we can hit up all those restaurants that you mentioned. So
we should come out here in like December.
Yeah, I don't think you want to be doing anything in December with golf related.
How are we going to golf?
Won't be open, but you can still come out and join us anytime.
Yeah.
So you won't enjoy it though.
Maybe we'll have you guys out this winter, and then we'll have to supplement it with a trip out there.
Flip it. Yeah, I think that's a better plan.
It's nice here in the summer. It really is. It's just sometimes it's hot as shit.
4 seasons. You definitely get the 4 seasons. It's really nice, but the winter just sticks around for way too long.
Absolutely.
So, but thanks again, guys. Keep up all the great work. Let's talk soon.
Yeah, we just wanted to say thank you so much to Safe Par Podcast for having Birdies in the Outfield on. We are so thankful to join you guys. We love everything you guys do. Please follow Safe Par Podcast on Instagram and you subscribe to their YouTube. Thank y'all for having us on.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, guys. So good to talk to you.